welcome to the Zadzooks Happy Hour, a podcast providing commentary on the latest in film, TV, games, and comics. My name is Todd Stoll, and I'm joined by 25-year veteran reporter covering pop culture, video games, and technology for the Washington Times, Joseph Zadkowski. Oh, well, I feel like we haven't been here in a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Watching a good TV lately?
Between my naps?
Yes.
Well, you know, I'm a big fan of Better Call Saul. I like the way they're splitting it up now between
Mike Ehrmantraut?
Between Jimmy and Mike, right?
Or Saul Goodman.
Saul Goodman. I won't give away many of the episodes here, but the one key scene for me has been his brother Chuck on the witness stand.
Amazing. And
that's all I'm going to say, and it's really amazing.
Yeah. It's
great acting from a former Spinal Tap member.
It is to me almost as captivating as Breaking Bad was. I mean, to where I crave that next episode.
Yep. And then we move over to Fargo, which of course is doing
well,
spectacular as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for me it was a bit of a slow burn.
Right.
But I'm there now. Things are out ahead and things are happening.
The doppelganger scenario, I was afraid wasn't going to work, but Ewan McGregor is pulling it off famously.
Yeah, it's more of a crude, sort of filthier version than the other two. I feel like there's also what I can't really figure out is they're dropping the F-bomb quite a bit. And I don't know how that's broadcasting on TV because Fargo's on FX, and I don't think you can say that until 1 a.m., right? You can say...
I don't know.
I thought you could say other things after 10 on cable. But I thought... So I don't know what it's like on broadcast. I've only ever watched it on demand, so... But there's a lot of it. There's a lot more swearing in this one than there was in the other one.
I didn't notice that. I think the sheriff's great. Again.
Well, which one? The former sheriff?
The former sheriff.
The woman.
Well, the guy from Boardwalk Empire as the new sheriff.
Yeah, he's pretty good too.
He's pretty good too.
He really hates her so much.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then the bumbling deputy, which you seem to get in every Fargo.
Yeah. Okay.
Even Ewan McGregor, who is British,
he's got the
Minnesotan accent, although it's in North Dakota.
Close enough.
Yeah. And even Mary Elizabeth Winstead, her accent's pretty good too.
And God, his name, I hope his name's Michael Sternberg. Boy, this is going to kill me. But he's the partner.
Yes.
And he is awesome.
Yeah, I can't tell if he's a genius or an idiot. I'm going to go
with idiot.
I think he's kind of both. And then the bad guy who...
Oh, man. You mean the werewolf from Harry Potter?
Is that who he is?
Yes.
Oh, I can't stop looking at his teeth.
Right.
Because he's bulimic. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
but he's fantastic.
Oh, he's so awkward. It's so great. If you're not watching Fargo, there's something wrong with you. Like, you need to go back, get that first season with Billy Bob, get that second season with Kirsten Dunst.
Yes.
And then just get caught up on this.
That was a pretty violent season.
Yeah.
It is Michael Sternberg, and I'm sorry. I butcher names all the time. He is fantastic. That guy, every time I turn on a television show or a movie, he shows up as a different character.
Talk about that mustache.
Yeah.
He's rocking the mullet and the mustache. It's great.
So
I am really now invested into Twin Peaks, the revival, and I'm 4 into it because they've only released the first 4.
Okay.
Picks up right where the first one, or the second season of the original ended. And it's weird. It is crazy weird. They are in the Black Lodge. There's all sorts of weird stuff there. They're in and out of dimensions. You've got Agent Cooper, who's trapped in the Black Lodge.
So it's stranger than Stranger Things?
Oh, yeah. You can't compare the two. No. I mean, this is like... It's like David Lynch had some sort of like weird acid trip or went to like Eritrea and did ayahuasca or something and remembers it vividly, and this is now like being played out on the camera. It's just the second and third episodes, I almost was like, this is so out there. I can't keep up. But I drove through it. By the end of the third episode, I was like, okay, something interesting is happening here. By the end of the fourth episode, you're like, yes, this redeemed itself quickly. So you've got to kind of deal with a little bit of the really way out there stuff that happens to Agent Cooper while stuck in the Black Lodge and watch his doppelgangers run amok.
There's that word again.
Out into the public. So
right.
Really enjoying it. I did finish completely Goliath. Saw that there's a second season of that coming up. There's another season of the X-Files coming up.
House of Cards is soon.
Is May 30th.
Right. I'm in the middle of Veep right now. It's pretty funny again.
It is.
It never stops.
There's a lot of really good television. There's a lot coming out on Amazon and Netflix that's good.
I'll tell you what I'm hooked on right now, above all else. Every night before I go to bed, I probably spend 15 minutes, and it's beyond an addiction, and I think I'm going to need some help because I keep going to my YouTube channel. I go to YouTube and look for Seinfeld bloopers.
And
there is something wrong with me because just watching Julia Louis-Dreyfus blow it and start cracking up every time is killing me. I don't know what it is, but it's really funny. I get a laugh every night. And isn't that the way to go to sleep before you go to sleep?
Yeah.
Have a big belly laugh and then go to bed?
Yeah. Any of the blooper reels.
Oh.
Like, if I watch a movie, I will go watch the blooper reels.
But these are really good. You really need to look at them.
Well, I will say
Michael Richards is absurd in some of these things.
I've been watching the X-Files bloopers, and boy, does Gillian Anderson have a potty mouth on her. Every other time they cut it because she screws up.
I can see her being silly, pretty silly on the set.
And meanwhile, Duchovny plays it so straight.
Really?
No, I don't think he can break very often. He's one of those guys that it doesn't matter how absurd it is. He's usually
I am in the middle of a Seinfeld revival. I'm in the middle of a Seinfeld revival. Say that 20 times fast.
Well, I will say this. If they bring Seinfeld back in a limited run on Netflix...
didn't they already? Or Larry David?
Yeah, I mean...
That was
I'm talking about bringing the actual show back because they're bringing back Roseanne.
Right. But, that won't happen because Veep is successful. It would take Veep to have to go away before I think she'd commit to another series.
I think it's a question of if you'd ever see successful shows like Friends and Seinfeld. I mean, you're seeing Will and Grace come back.
Will and Grace is coming back.
I mean, it's like people can't get over the fact that like these shows have died and they need to move on.
Right.
And Hollywood is now...
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
Well, now Hollywood is in this thing where it's just like, let's remake everything.
Right.
And
because it's easier.
Yeah, but it's not.
They already got a proven formula.
But because... there are movies that they've remade that suck.
All the time.
And it's like, why did you do that? What was the one, they haven't done Demolition Man, but they did Judge Dredd with Carl Urban. That was not a good movie.
You know what's weird? I'm right in the middle of starting to look at the 4K UHD version that they just released again, and it's turned into this bizarre cult movie. People are really into this movie now.
Really?
Yes.
I watched it and I was like, all right. It just seems...
I remember watching like 3-4 years. When was it? It was a while ago.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago.
And I went, meh. It's not as... It didn't have the character of the Sylvester Stallone Dredd, which was pretty funny to begin with.
Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man was great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Any movie he was in was really good. So, yeah. All right.
Now, we taking a break, or you want to keep going?
Well, let's just keep going. All right, I've got 2 more things we can talk about, and then we'll talk about your stuff. So I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, which I said I wasn't going to, but I did.
And you said there's 2 Stan Lee cameos?
Yes.
God bless Stan Lee.
There is one in the, I think it's the 4th of the 5th.
Good health to him.
Credit reel that they run. There's 5 credit scenes.
Wow.
5.
Wow.
One of the one with Stan Lee is very unnecessary, but then again, he's very unnecessary. The way that he's slapped into this one again.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, I know they're doing him a favor, and
how are they doing him a favor? He's the guy who created all this stuff.
Okay, what happens? What happens when he finally kicks it?
Well, there'll be a legacy.
It's just weird. It's just like it feel okay. In this movie in particular, he is crowbarred into it.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the scene. They could have done without him. The two big characters that I think people resonate with is the lovable baby Groot.
Sure, why not?
Who the opening credits are Groot dancing around while his friends are getting the crap kicked out of him, which is pretty funny.
Don't give anything else away.
And he's dancing to ELO.
Of course. Which my son was blasting in the car the other day, and I'm going, what? What are you doing? Where? Huh? You discovered... And I'm like, where? And he went, oh, yeah, I saw Guardians.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's fine. If that's what it takes to rediscover a really great band.
Both of those movies have done a good job with that.
Yeah.
With introducing people to classic music.
That's fine.
And that's great. I think the other one, Yondu, who played by Michael Rooker from The Walking Dead.
Sure.
He also has a massive role in this compared to the first one. And I think he, alongside of Rocket... are very close in this one.
Okay.
So speaking of The Walking Dead, I understand that we've got a couple items here to take a look at.
That is a bad. Okay. So the best part.
Don't hurt me with that.
I won't, but I could. That's the thing.
You could seriously injure somebody.
I
with
got
that
Lucille. I got a great prop replica version of Lucille. It is not made of wood. It is made of injected plastic.
It's pretty solid.
It's solid.
I think if you had an intruder get into your house and you hit them with that,
I could do some damage.
I think you'd take them out.
It's got rubber, barbed wire.
It's not really rubber. It's it's almost very brittle in some ways, but there's movement to it.
And it really looks exactly like the bat, sans any blood. But that is a special edition. You can get it with blood. It's about $30 now if you go to the store and get it. The only thing you'll notice is the injection mold. There's a little ring where they connected two parts of the bat, but you'd be hard pressed to care because it's such a cool item.
And it's got some weight to it. There's no question. So how much is the blood version?
I think it's the same price.
Is it?
They're not kicking it up for that.
But is it just a more harder to find?
I don't know. I think it's like a Walmart exclusive.
Okay. Well, apparently
it's
not
that for what it's worth.
Not that hard to find.
And McFarlane continues to release statue action figures of your favorite characters.
Including Negan.
And you'll get a bat with Negan.
A very happy Negan.
And he's a very happy Negan. The costuming is perfect. The paint scheme's perfect. The head sculpt is darn near close to perfect.
Yeah, I feel like they had to have brought him into a room and scanned his head.
I don't know if they did, but they did for Carl, and there's a difference. I'm showing.
That's really. I mean, outside of the fact that the shirt's got a little bit more color to it,
right.
But no, the Carl Grimes character is really good. I'm glad McFarlane is doing this because I will say that Mattel had a few lines of characters that actually did pretty well, but now you've seen licensing for a lot of different franchises spread out to like 10 different companies.
Right.
And the figurines that you get are like, especially the facial,
McFarlane just signed for the new Star Trek. They're going to do all the figures.
Oh, the Discovery?
Yeah. Okay. And they're going to go back and do some of the...
That looks pretty good, actually.
They're going to go back and do some of the early classic figures.
Okay.
So that's all good.
I mean, if they can do it and do it right, then they're going to win at it. I will say that... like Diamond Select doing their own figurines.
Right.
I think we reviewed a Ghostbusters one,
right.
And they don't get the face.
Face wasn't right
at all.
Right.
This is pretty.
That's
solid.
Pretty important. If you have an actor doing an iconic role, the figure's got to look like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in that collecting mode and that collecting,
the Mattel ones are great. They were really well done before Mattel went downhill and stopped basically producing the higher end stuff. This Negan character, I mean, outside of the fact he's got kind of a grin, which I guess he sort of does, but
he's always got a...
You would want a little bit more of a menacing look to this character. It's pretty spot on.
Right.
The painting is very well done. The wrinkles. There's a little weirdness around where the pants meet the shoes, which is a little strange, and you can definitely bend him at the knees a bit.
Which is weird because I'm not sure what you're going to do with that with the base. So
yeah.
What McFarlane did was they released a line, I'm going to get a little geeky here, called the color tops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure why they did it, but there's like red color tops, blue color tops, and it just denotes the color of a circle on a box.
Oh, so it has nothing to do with the
actual
actual
It really has nothing
painting?
with the actual painting. It has nothing to do with the actual... And what they did is they said like blue color top line, and they released a bunch of figures from different franchises. So there's a couple of Walking Dead figures, there's a couple of Assassin's Creed figures, Gears of War, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of muddies the line. I really liked when McFarlane was just doing like the 5-inch action figures because they did some amazing work on the zombies. Those things are just killer.
Hey, I mean, this is what, about 6 inches?
About 6.5, 7 inches. I mean, you're going to take this to work probably and put it on your cubicle somewhere.
It's got a base, which is nice.
Right. So, I mean, it's probably something to talk about when you get your break and go to the water cooler, but it's an interesting figure. It's well done. I don't think $20 is ridiculous to ask for something like this, especially if you're committed to the Walking Dead franchise.
I mean, if you go to like a Target and you go buy a Ninja Turtle action figure for your kids, that's about $20.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and the quality of that is pretty awesome.
So Walking Dead figure line, pretty damn good. They did solve the problem on this figure, at least, with the neck. If you go to the other color tops and twist the neck, it looks like there's a giant goiter on the side of the head because the Adam's apple doesn't really follow. So it's a little, it's a little weird, but this one,
Negan's got a scarf on anyway, so
yeah, they learned well.
Yeah, just put something around their neck and it'll be fine.
That's right.
Cool. Anything else before we take the break? That's a lot to cram in.
You know.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk Split.
We'll talk some Split.
Yeah.
I know you really liked it.
I did like it.
I liked it,
and we'll talk more about it. And Prey, and I'll talk a little bit about John Wick 2, which is coming out on Blu-ray, I believe, next week.
No.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
But I've got it on digital already, and we'll touch a bit on the digital stuff. So we'll be back.
Great.
Communities Digital News, built by the writers and editors that deliver the news 24 hours a day. Visit comdiginews.com. That's COMMDIGI news.com. And support the next evolution in news.
Now, I want to say, this is what I love about M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable, and that it is probably one of the unique comic book movies that's not a Marvel character or a DC character, and it's subtle, but but there is a superhero element to it. And in the first one, you have David Dunn going up against Mr. Glass.
Great.
Which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Right.
Love that movie. So now there is sort of this secondary movie called Split, which takes place a few years after. I guess it takes place in present time, so several years after Unbreakable. But you have, it's primarily, it's a very low budget movie at a $9 million budget, and it really has 4 characters in it, 4 actors, and that's it. There's the therapist.
Yeah, Betty Buckley, famous theater actress. 8 is enough.
She's great.
TV, she's great.
In this. James McAvoy, who plays 24 different personas.
Now you gave it away, didn't you?
No.
Okay.
Because everybody knows that he's split personalities.
Right.
And then you have 3 young girls.
Right.
And the one that's a lead, her name is escaping me. It's Anna.
I have no idea.
I can't remember her name. We'll make sure that we circle back on it.
Yeah.
And it primarily takes place in a sort of basement / dungeon style setting, and it's it.
Right. It's very much got the vibe of 10 Cloverfield Lane at points. It's got the vibe of The Room a little bit. I mean, if you walk into this movie and know nothing about it, you think you're going to be watching a psychological thriller, right?
I thought I was going to watch a horror movie.
Horror movie,
I really thought
psychological horror movie.
Yeah,
right.
I thought it was going to be very bloody.
Right.
And it was more of, I don't want to say it was like fully a drama, but it was a psychological drama.
Right.
Let's put it that way. So, it's great. I mean, I don't want to give too much away. Well, you know what? Screw it. We can give it away. They just announced there is a movie coming out which joins Unbreakable and Split together, and it's called Glass.
Right.
And at the end of this movie, you will know why they joined together, because there is the very last scene,
cameo.
There is a cameo by Bruce Willis,
right,
as David Dunn,
right,
and where for me, not I knew that they were coming out with a sequel, but I had no idea how these two movies were going to join together for this sequel. For me, I really loved the soundtrack to Unbreakable, and with about 8 minutes left in the movie, it switched from this sort of non-soundtracky film to the soundtrack from Unbreakable, as the TV is announcing that something had happened, and it goes up to Willis. He says his line, and then it cuts, and then that's it. And it's like that for me was like, as soon as they did that, I was like, oh, this is amazing, this is great. And that for me, the way they ended it by bringing in David Dunn, I'm like, oh, this sequel is going to be amazing. And
right.
they announced that the sequel's got like a $30 million budget, which I think you need to have, because Unbreakable with Elijah / Mr. Glass, he was so eccentric and very much kind of like Magneto, if you will, in his villainous character. And I don't think you could do that with a really low budget,
right?
Because he was pretty crazy.
So the interesting concept of the movie that really pulled in people that normally wouldn't immediately identify with M. Night and what he was doing was the split personality disorder. They're trying to, the doctor, Betty Buckley's trying to prove that these individual personalities will also exhibit a different physical manifestation.
Yes.
To the point of, if you're a diabetic, one of your personalities can be a diabetic, you're going to have to take shots.
And they talk about, or actually McAvoy in I think it was McAvoy, he talks about in one of his personas that there was someone who was blind, but they had two alter ego characters who could see, and they could actually see.
Right.
So it is, again, this very subtle artwork of a comic book, and that like it is a superpower. It's something that it's unlocked this, and you get into a little bit of why he is the way he is, and it has to do with like a trauma, and you dig into that as the movie progresses. But it seems that because of that and all of these different personas / personalities, it's unlocked a potential in his brain that no one else would have unless you've gone through something traumatic.
Right.
And he introduces, he originally has 23, and he develops the 24th.
Right. Which is the entire hook to the movie.
And it's crazy.
Right. He does a great job.
It's great.
Now, did you look at the extras?
No.
Well, it's a good thing I did.
I'm glad you did, because I did not.
And you know what? You're going to have to, because there's 15 minutes of deleted scenes, including an alternate ending. And if you're a fan of this movie, you should watch it.
Okay.
Not only because they're interesting scenes, but because M. Night offers a commentary before each scene. So he tells you why it wasn't in the movie, which is good.
Wow.
It's great to hear a filmmaker sit there and take the time to do that.
You don't typically see that.
Right. And there's another 15 minutes of featurettes. Too much gushing for my taste, but you do get a chance to hear the director once again, who's a really interesting guy, talk about his career and talk about how much he kind of really loves indie horror films. to the point that he hired the cinematographer from It Follows, which is a great horror movie, to shoot Split.
The cinematography on this was great. It was amazing. I mean, it's really well done.
So all around, it's a home run. I really liked it.
Yeah.
And it's got a great tie to a great popular franchise.
And you know what's funny?
Is it a franchise? There was only one movie, right?
Unbreakable?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that movie's really underrated.
It's now going to be a franchise for sure.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I feel like that movie is very underrated.
It's way underrated. I saw it so many years ago, but I still remember how great it was. It was good. It was great.
I mean, it's just
Samuel L. Jackson was great.
So was Bruce Willis playing this sort of like very down guy.
I need to go watch it again.
And you know, M. Night Shyamalan is kind of hit and miss, you know, but I think, but the sad part is like, look at any big director. Like Scorsese, you can't tell me every single movie he did was a home run.
No, absolutely not.
And, you know, Shyamalan's been panned for having like a couple bad movies. But it's like Signs, Sixth Sense, Unbreakable. He's done...
he actually explains at one point that he knows that there was an issue, but he had gone over because of his birth of his kids that he wanted to make more family-friendly
Yeah, well, that Lady in the Water movie was awful.
And that's where he got in trouble, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't admit that, but he also did he do like Airbender?
He did Last Airbender.
Airbender?
Yes, he did. He's doing Wayward Pines, the TV show, which is
really...
The first season was good. I haven't seen the second season, but the first season was really good.
Right.
And yeah, he's
getting into his comfort zone
and
again.
he's got another movie that apparently he signed with Bruce Willis outside of Glass.
Right.
Glass is going to start Sam Jackson, Bruce Willis, James McAvoy, and the girl from this movie, Anya, and I can't pronounce her last name. Or I can't find it. My internet's too slow. We're trying to pull it up. It's just not working.
Yeah.
So listen,
Can I touch on another movie?
Yes.
That I really like.
Yes.
That I had twinned with Split, and it was called The Girl with All the Gifts. It's another, and don't give me the look.
Does she have all the gifts?
It's another zombie.
Okay.
Post-apocalypse.
I've never heard of it. When did it come out?
It came out this year.
I never heard of it.
Early this year. But the twist is, first of all, Glenn Close is in it, and I love Glenn Close, and she plays a researcher. The kids, when the mothers turn, the kids inside the mothers turn. So pregnant mothers have kids in,
yes,
right?
Yes. And the baby's turn.
Right. But they have found a way, these hybrid kids only turn zombie if they smell flesh. Otherwise, they're rational, normal individuals. And the zombies are from a fungal infection. There's actually a species of ant that suffers from this type of infection where it eats away at their brain and takes over them. So it's based on fact, and you have this really cool twist of these kids. That's all I'm going to say. It really is a great movie, though. It's very much 28 Days Later, that kind of style.
Cool.
I think I need to make you see it.
Right.
You got to watch it.
I'll watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you like the zombies.
What I didn't get a chance to watch was Resident Evil.
It's the last part of the 6-part franchise live-action series. There's lots of explosions. There's lots of zombies. It really looks great in 4K UHD. I like Milla Jovovich. Her husband, I'm not so hot on, the director, Paul W.S. Anderson. What you should take away from this is the moment they had basically said they were done with live action, Capcom announced that they're creating a new live action series that's probably going to be more like the original Resident Evil with the house and all that kind of stuff. But this movie, they go back to Raccoon City and they try and finally stop the Umbrella Corporation from completely eliminating humanity. Best part of the movie experience, home theater experience, is you got to go to the Blu-ray, and Milla and her husband, Paul W.S. Anderson, talk about the entire franchise, and they cut in the middle of the movie at points, during points in the movie, to talk about it. It's like a maximum movie mode. Do you remember those? Mm-hmm. Where the actors would pop in and just talk about what happens and they'd go back out? It's like a breaking news alert. It's interesting. It adds about 30 minutes to the movie.
It's just 6 of these.
Yeah, there were 6. Isn't that amazing?
I can't believe it.
So, anyway, it's why I like Milla, and I'm going to watch Milla because The Fifth Element is coming out on 4K UHD.
Milla?
Milla? It's not Milla. Milla.
I think it is.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Okay. I watched John Wick 2.
Okay.
And it's great. It's
great.
nonstop. Like, unlike the first one, it's nonstop. And the ending basically sets it up for John Wick 3. This one is not like the first one. This is totally dependent on a sequel for it, the way that it's left. I mean, absolutely, and apparently they're already writing it.
Good.
But poor Keanu Reeves.
We'll talk about that soon.
He's got to be so tired by the end of that, because my goodness, the martial arts.
Really?
And just
Maximum Matrix.
It's like just the guy can't stop. It's like 2 hours of him just fighting.
Is it Keanu or Keanu?
Keanu.
And with that, we'll be back to the Norm Crosby tribute show.
Is it Norm or Nam Crosby?
Depends what party they are. Okay, there.
Communities Digital News, built by the writers and editors that deliver the news 24 hours a day. Visit comdiginews.com. That's COMMDIGI news.com. And support the next evolution in news.
Okay, really quickly, because we're not going to review it until next week, even though we've already seen it in the theaters.
And we've already reviewed it.
We are going to talk next week about Logan. And I have in front of me the Target exclusive, which comes with the Blu-ray, the regular DVD. It also comes with the Logan Noir version, which is completely black and white version of Wolverine, of Logan, which I'm excited to watch.
Right.
But it also comes as part of the binder set with exclusive black and white photos taken throughout the run of the show, including some of the characters, including Logan all beat up, Patrick Stewart's Professor Xavier, very aged.
I can't wait to watch the black and white version.
It looks
I'm very
so
excited by
cool.
that.
You've got to do it with lights out.
I watched the Mad Max.
You got it.
Black and white.
I think you have to watch
incredible.
this with the lights out and the volume up.
Yep.
And that's the only way you can watch this. But that is sweet, and it's $20. I don't know if Target's going to have it for much longer, but that's, in my opinion,
that's the way to go.
Unless you're going to get a more advanced set like on Amazon, that's the way to get it, is to get the Target version. It's a nice book. It's got kind of a, not really leather bound, like maybe like a faux leather to it, but it's a book, and it's pretty solid. And it comes with a digital download as well, so you can take it with you wherever you want. Not promoting it, not saying go to Target and buy it. Just,
right.
I think that's probably one of the cooler sets that came out.
And I think there was some metallic packaging from one exclusive also.
Yeah, I like this one just because it had the extra pictures in it. Yeah, which was pretty cool.
So where can we find the happy hour?
You can find the happy hour
almost anywhere.
Almost
right?
anywhere on Apple.
Street corners.
You can find it on Stitcher.
Abandoned cars.
You can find it on YouTube now.
Kaliki Radio.
Kaliki Radio. You can find it on WNBC. No, you can find us anywhere that podcasts are available.
Right.
Google Play.
And we'd like you to find us.
And if you install the Podbean app on your Amazon Alexa, you can say, Amazon or Alexa, play the Zadzooks Happy Hour, and it will play for you.
Magically starts.
And we are now on the Alexa. So we're everywhere you want us to be, whether you like it or not.
That's right.
And we are, as I said,
that's our mission.
Also on YouTube as well. So you can't see us.
And rest assured, we will continue to butcher names.
Why would we not? Remember, our tagline is we review pop culture, but we do it poorly.
That's right.
And that's
keep that in
the
mind.
way it should be. And if we don't get a name,
Right.
it's because, quite frankly, we haven't researched it very well.
And I'm too busy napping.
That's right. Now, coming up,
Schitt's Creek? No,
I
never
hope
mind.
so. Is it coming out?
I don't know.
Oh, I miss it now.
See?
I miss it.
It's an addiction.
Because you know what it is? It's like 20 minutes of just nonsense.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's a great way to just unwind.
You want nonsense? I started watching Beavis and Butthead again. Do you remember Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, but which one? The original or the one where he redid it?
The original.
Okay.
And it's just nonsense.
You know what show I can't get into is Silicon Valley.
Really?
I can't get into it.
I haven't watched it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. We digress.
There's a lot of TV. It's more than
I know. There's too much.
It's more than I
can't get
can
any work
keep up
done.
with. It's like I don't know what to do. I'm running out of stuff here because
Right.
it's every week is something new. I am going to go to the theaters. I am going to see Baby Driver, the Edgar Wright film.
What?
Oh yeah.
Of all the films to go see,
I'm going to see that.
you're
in
not
theaters.
going to see Justice League. You're not going to see.
I'm not going to see Justice League in the
Okay.
theater. Forget it. Superman versus Batman was awful.
Okay.
So I can't imagine Justice League is going to be very good.
The Avengers.
That's not until next year.
Really? Oh, I'm bummed.
Infinity Wars.
Wonder
I
Woman?
think it's 18 and 19. Wonder Woman does look pretty good.
Yes.
It's going to be hard pressed to. I need to see the reviews first.
Okay.
Obviously we will all go see Star Wars because we'll need to talk about it.
That's true.
And that'll be out in December. I will not see Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, damn you.
What is it? Number
I don't know.
5?
5, I think.
5 or 6?
All right, we're babbling.
Cars 3.
I'm still Negan. Joe Zadkowski. I'm playing with my action.
And I'm Lucille this week.
Sure. I
So,
can dig that.
So thank you for listening.
Thank you so very much.
And I think we're back on a regular schedule now,
I
right?
think so,
So
yes.
we'll be back next week.
Remember, more fiber, regular schedule.
And
You always got to get the last word. You could have just turned it off right there.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Good. Move on.
Wow. Is that our new tagline?